let me just show you these other tabs that are applicable to you if you are running services. So under service details, it basically just gives the overview of the services. So Sunday service Goulburn, 11th of November 2012, the service times where it takes place. Here under additional services is where you can add extra things. It says such as rehearsal times to the service. We're not quite sure why that's there. We think it may be so that you can actually set up appointments in your calendar. But look, my best suggestion is leave that alone. I think a couple of our, maybe Wallandilly and Camden, have rehearsal times set. Theoretically, you can have post-service meetings and pre-service meetings, but there's really no need for those because they just get put onto the service plan anyway. So it's pretty straightforward just to leave it with the single service. Choose the location that this service will be held at. So in this case, it's Goulburn. You can upload a logo if you want to for the service. I don't think we need to. You might also like to highlight a particular person who is in charge, say for instance the Sunday service coordinator, stage manager, the service executive or whatever. None of that's really applicable to our churches at this stage, so that can just be left blank. Alright, so that's the service. We've already seen the service plan. Now under volunteers, this is where we can make minor adjustments to the roster on the fly if we need to. So, for instance, on the 11th of October, it's telling us that Richard is preaching. Richard has not yet confirmed that he's preaching, but I trust that that he will be aware of that, and we'll make sure that he's aware of that in plenty of time to make sure it's all good to go. In any case, under here, the volunteers, we have different tabs. So we have worship. That's telling us that Christine is going to play acoustic guitar. And we could also add Christina in over here as worship leader if we wanted to. So to do that, you can just press plus and just come up here and type Christine, and it should come up with Christine Fox. It'll tell us that there's a conflict. It says Christine is already rostered onto guitar. She's already rostered onto hosting. Neither of those things are going to clash necessarily with being on that. So we can just leave her as unconfirmed and roster her on, and she will now be rostered on for leading vocals as well. So what we'll actually be doing too is we can add in, and this has already happened in Wallandilly and Camden I think, is that various volunteers for different roles, so for instance the position of worship leader, Christine can go in there so she can be easily picked from a list of names there as opposed to having to come up here and do it. So let's for instance go to something like stage ministry and see whether or not anybody has been put into stage under preaching. There we go. There's a bunch of people whose names are already in there for preaching. That's not a complete and exhaustive list yet. We still need to make some changes, but straight away you can see how it'd be much quicker to pick people. But anybody can be rostered into any position simply by typing their name up here. Alright then, so that is how the run sheet works. The volunteers work to make adjustments. Now the next tab you need to know is the reporting tab. Under reporting, this is where you edit information concerning that service. So you can put in here the total attendance at the service, simply edit record and type in the number of people, the number of new people, same thing, the number of first-time commitments that may have given their lives to Christ, the number of rededications. Now under here, this is where you put people who have attended this service. Simplest way to do that, there's two ways. You can add individuals just by typing their name here and type in Rowan and it'll come up, and I can just go add, or if my entire family was there I can just go add. So that, for the sake of Goulburn for instance, that might be an easy way to do it, just add in the names of the families that were there. But if you are wanting to add in more people, because it's hard to remember who was there, sometimes it's easier to mass add everybody in the church and then remove only the people who weren't there. And you can do this when you're reporting on attendance in Sunday services or in church or in a Connect group meeting. And just for the sake of it, let's mass add individuals. So under mass add individuals, I can now say who I want to mass add. So let's just for the sake of it say I wanted to add, even though this is a Goulburn service, I wanted to add all the people who were in Camden who were part of the youth. And I don't want any inactive people. I just want the church members. Let's just do church members for now, just for the sake of example. And I can just say, okay, I want C3 Camden youth to attend the church members here. And people who last attended, yes, I'd like to filter when they last attended a service. I'll just switch that off if you like. That way it won't just give the last 4 weeks. And then when I filter individuals, it should pull up a list of Camden youth. And when I I can actually, before I add them, I can actually X out some of them if I want to. So let's say I don't want Hannah Crichton to have been in Goulburn. It's not going to let me do it there, so I'll just go, I think, oh, there we go, Hannah Crichton. If I X her out there, nope, I can't do it there, so I'll add individuals, and what it will do is it will add them all in down here. Okay, so there they are there, the youth. Now I can just, if for instance any ones weren't there, I just click remove. That's all I have to do. And in this case, I'll obviously remove them all. But that might be easier for a bigger service or a bigger group of people, or where you have, 80–90% of your people there. It might be quicker to just add them and remove the few that weren't there. And once you've done all of that, you've added the records, added the people who were there, adjusted your attendance up here with those figures. You simply come down the bottom and somewhere click Save. I have no idea where. No idea. You probably need to go back to the previous tab. It may actually put a save option up once I enter some information in. Let's say I'll put in there total attendance 1, save record. I know what it'll be. It'll be when I actually add some people. When I add some people in here, it'll give me the option to save, but I've actually deleted everybody. So if I put myself in there for now, this is just a guess. That's what's going on. Put myself in there. It says it's adding Rowan. 1 people attended this service. Looks like there's no option to edit it, so it must just happen automatically. Alright, so that is how you edit people to the service, which is really good because it means that we keep a permanent record on the computer that we can all access for every service, every meeting, every Connect Group meeting, and so on. Alright, well that's probably about enough for now, so hopefully that'll give you a chance to understand the service plan organising and rosters and so on. And in the meantime, I will leave you go, have a fiddle, and I'll chat with you soon. Thanks guys, bless ya, bye.